how musicians, artists, fashion designers, hairdressers come up with new ideas and different trends? They get inspired by things around them. It might be from the same medium or something totally different. I mean, we can create hairstyles from looking at things in nature, right? A fashion designer might find something interesting that an artist did and come up with a different idea to make something new and interesting. Oftentimes, we even take ideas from decades. Welcome to Shop Talk in Style. I'm Tony Santini. I've been in the industry for about 23 years. I consider myself a cosmetology career strategist. And if you want to know a little more about me, go ahead to my YouTube channel and check out my About video. It's got the whole rundown. But today I thought I might take a little bit of time to share some ideas and how to use inspiration. One of the most exciting things that I got to do using inspiration was work at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in 2009, creating a hairstyle for the Gotex runway show. I worked under a key hairdresser for that show, and he took Degas, famous artist, who did some amazing ballerinas, and used those ballerinas to create a style for the Gotex show. Pretty cool, right? I also had the opportunity many times in Madison to create hair art at the Hair Affair, the Art of Hair. It was a show put on at the museum here, the Museum of Contemporary Art in Madison, every other year, where hairstylists from around the community, in groups or individuals, would come together with hair creations based upon a specific idea that was handed to them. We created hair art. Super interesting. One year we got to create a piece that we took inspiration from an Alexander McQueen runway show in 2009, where he used headpieces that resembled lampshades. And we actually used a lampshade in our piece. I'm going to share that with you today on how we did that, specifically how we took that inspiration. But most importantly, we do this every day in the salon. Our clients come in, they show us pictures, they want things, and we need to know how to take those pictures and use them as inspiration. Because how many times have you asked for something or had someone ask you for a look that really isn't possible in their hair? But can't we take those pictures and be inspired by them to create something new for our client? Absolutely. So, let's talk about this runway show real quick. The video of the runway show itself is on my YouTube channel. You can click into it. It's the Gotex 2009 Gotex show. It's been recorded and shown by another individual, who is why I'm sharing it on my YouTube channel, because it's relevant to this, and I think you need to see how this works. But most importantly, there's also some images that you need to look at from Degas. They're ballerinas. And the ballerinas have this pulled back hair in a messy bun in the back of their head. And the key designer for this show wanted to come up with an idea that would complement these beautiful Gotex. I mean, they're swimsuits, but you wouldn't even go in the water with them, right? They're gorgeous. And how could he complement them with a hair design that was inspired by these paintings? Well, this is actually what the hairstyle looked like. We might consider it a messy bun today, but the idea is that the hair has been taken very tightly to the head, and the paintings, when you look at them, are very haphazard, if you will, in the back. Kind of pinned in, but really don't have heavy structure, except for the fact that they are positioned off to the side. In many of the paintings, they're positioned in the back, high and low, but this particular look, we decided to go with something off to the side. Now, I say we loosely because really, I got the opportunity to just be there and create some of these looks. I wasn't part of the team that came up with it, but it was a really wonderful experience on how to use inspiration in creating something new and different. So what I'm going to do with you today for this style is I'm going to deconstruct this. So I'm going to take this apart and show you exactly how this is put back together, and then you can watch it in reverse. Okay, so let's take a look. The first thing I'm going to take a look at here with you is how this piece was actually pinned in. So I'm going to take it apart so we can see what that looks like. I used hairpins to create this, so we're going to pull them out one by one. They're large hairpins. They hold a lot of hair. And they're stuck in various areas. So let's go ahead and see if we can find out where they are. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Is there another one? Nope, just 6. So 6 big hairpins were used to pin that in place. Now, if we look at this, this was actually a ponytail. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4 large chunks of hair that were taken and simply backcombed. This style in particular had no curling iron work done to it at all. It was just blown dry. Actually, a directional blow dry was used. And if you want to take a look at how that's done, go to my channel, look at 3 steps to creating the perfect setup. It's a directional blow dry video, and it shows exactly how to use directional blow drying. Because this particular look was swept back, off to the side, and pulled back, the directional blow drying helped me move the hair in the direction I wanted it to go so that it stayed there and I didn't have to fight with it. So check out the directional blow drying video, 3 steps to the perfect setup. So if we look at these sections of the hair, I'm going to brush them out for you one by one. They're basically they've just been backcombed. Now they're a little bit bent now, and it almost looks like a curling iron was taken to it, but they've been pinned and have been sitting this way for a while, so they've set into a little bit of a bent formation. But you can see they're just, you can brush them right out. So I had 4 big sections that I used to pin in. Backcombing actually is a wonderful way to create a malleable hair surface so that you can pin it and move it around however you feel like it. So that's the ponytail, all brushed out. Now, on top of this ponytail, I have some pieces of hair that have been wrapped around it that come from the front. So let's take a look here. If we pull this pin out on this section, you can see this area of the hair actually belongs to the front. It's one big section in the front. You can see the part here. And this was saved so that I could smooth that back and pin it in. So let's take that out. I put a little backcombing at the base so that it would stay in place. And that's the section in the front. If we go back to the ponytail and pull some more pins, we can see 1 and 2. This section is part of the left side in the front. So it's one section of hair on the left side. Go ahead and brush that piece out. And now we have 2 pieces in the front that were wrapped around to the back of the head. Let's go back to the ponytail and take another pin out. And now we have another section of hair that's been wrapped around the ponytail. And this section, oh, there's another pin, belongs to the crown. So if we lift this up, we can see I'm going to brush that backcombing out. I did some backcombing in the base of this so that it had a little bit more structure to it, and also I could create some volume and really have the hair stay where I needed it to be. So now we have a third section on top that was simply taken and wrapped around the ponytail to create that top area. 3 sections on top. One in the front left, one in the front right, and one in the top and crown. And the rest of the hair was simply a ponytail. If you want to see how I did this ponytail with an elastic cord, check out my amazing wedding hair with no curling iron video. That goes through the ponytailing. I'm going to cut this for you so you can see exactly how this looks. This is a piece of elastic that I've wrapped around the hair to hold it in place. It's like no other ponytailing technique ever. It will not move. It will stay all night long. And you know when you're doing something for an updo that you want people to be able to go out and dance and have a good time, that ponytail needs to stay in place, right? This is going to do it. And that's it. That's the ponytail. So literally 4 sections to make that updo. 2 in the front, 1 in the top and crown, and a ponytail on all the hair underneath to keep it in place. Let's take a look at this in reverse so you can see it reconstructed. Alright, so we took a look at the pictures of the Degas paintings and the ballerinas. We can see the idea from where this hairstyle came from, right? Hair was slicked back, put up in the back, it had kind of a rough, haphazard texture to it, and that was the concept for the look that was used in the 2009 GoTech show for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. Super interesting, right? That's one example of how to use inspiration. Another example of how to use inspiration is this hair affair that we did in 2009 and used Alexander McQueen's 2009 runway show to create this look. So I'm going to have some pictures put up of this specific runway show, just images of the headpieces, so that you can see what we had this idea for a lampshade that we wanted to use for the look. And then when we look at that lampshade, there's some different kind of concepts of it. And I don't even know if, honestly, he used a lampshade or not, but the shape of it was what we were going for. And we thought, man, what is the idea here? What does this look like? Well, it looks like a lampshade, right? So we literally got a lampshade and put hair pieces over top of it. So if you look and see now, I'll have some pictures put up about that show the design that we made. This was the actual look for the hair affair show that we did at the Madison Museum of Contemporary Art. And our model wore this down the glass staircase. It was fabulous. It was a wonderful evening. But this is where we got our inspiration. So we took the idea of what this headpiece McQueen had created, and we took it and then we created our own idea behind it. We used the shape of it, the silhouette, and then we added the color that we wanted to do. We decided on the textures that we wanted to create from it, but the foundation of it was inspired by this McQueen runway show. So again, when we're talking about inspiration, this really has to do with, like, what are the aspects of this thing that's inspiring us, right? If it's a tree in nature that's turning colors, right, we're seeing maybe reds and yellows in it, and then some browns. So we can talk about maybe hair color in that way, right? Or if we're looking at a painting of someone, even if it has to do more with, like, my tattoo work, right? So this could be used in some form with haircutting, because if you look at these lines here, they all have curvature to them, and they're softer and a little bit more rounded, whereas you get into these pieces here, it's got a lot of structure to it, and they're more hard lines. So if I took those concepts and ideas and turned it into a haircut, maybe I would create a very geometrical shape with some hard lines on the perimeter, maybe a strong bang, maybe a strong perimeter line on the side and the bottom, and then maybe on the inside, I could take some of these more jagged pieces that are a little bit softer and create some really heavy texture, right? I mean, I can make it up however I want, because I just took inspiration of what I was looking at and took the concepts of it and put it into something else. So this brings me to when our clients come in, right? We always like to talk about a business building tip at the end of these videos, and here's the thing. If your client brings you in a picture that in no way are you going to be able to do with your client's hair, We need to be honest about this, right? How many times have you said, yeah, sure, I can totally do that? Knowing in the back of your mind, you're like, how the hell is this ever going to happen? Well, here's the problem. You just told someone you could do something, and now you can't execute it. But when someone shows you a picture of something, you can't just tell them no, right? I mean, you can, but it's not really good client-stylist relation if you do that. So here's an idea. Take that picture and see what's inspiring about it. Maybe there's a specific hair color within that picture that your client really likes. Maybe there's a texture to the hair that your client really likes. Maybe there's a shape or a silhouette that your client really likes with it. Maybe it's the length that they really like. How can you take that and change it a little bit so it works with your client's hair? This is how you're going to build a strong clientele. You're going to start doing things that only you can do because you've taken inspiration and created something that other people aren't going to be able to do. Sure, anybody can cut a bob, right? But who is going to come up with the concept for the bob for that specific client? That's going to be different depending upon who you go to. So if the client likes your concept, you own it, right? Have you ever had someone go get their hair cut somewhere else and it worked out fine? So they continue to do it. And then 3 haircuts down the road, they come back and see you and say, yeah, it was fine for a while and then it just didn't work out anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you why it didn't work out anymore. Is because the first cut that you did, you had a concept for that haircut. And it may have slightly lasted while someone tried to follow the lines that you've created. But once those lines were gone, that person isn't going to be recreating or be able to recreate what you did because they don't know your concept. They weren't inspired the way you were inspired. They didn't take inspiration from the same thing. So when these clients want specific things that you can do, they're coming back to you. This creates an incredible value to you as a stylist. So when you go into the salon tomorrow, or the next day, think about what you can get inspired from. Listen to some amazing music. Get some strong emotional feelings from some of that music. Put those strong, structured emotions into your haircutting. Put some of those soft, light, fluffy emotions into your hairstyling. You can take the ideas and build them into your work. Cool? Go to it. Have fun. And listen, if you're using inspiration in the salon right now or in any other aspect, please share it with me. Shoot me an email at shoptalkandstyle@gmail.com. Put it in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. This is a great way to keep our community inspired. Again, I'm Tony. This was Shop Talk and Style. Great to see you.